Yeah, exactly.
Oh yeah, that's right. We were. I ran across it when we were outside.
Live from Indianapolis, Indiana, where the Colts have been relevant since 2014, it's the Furry Tonight Show. Tonight's special guest, Earth, with IFC chair Nikki. Artist guest of honor, Atimist, Jeopardy champion, Bucktown Tiger, and musical guest, Matthew Ebel. And here's your host, BC Breakaway.
What is it? There was that thing where, like, you do for the you do this, right? So we could do that too. It's very quiet, but you know. Anyway, well, I'm welcome to Furry Tonight. I'm your host, BC Breakaway, and I am one of this year's guests of honor, which is very exciting and definitely is an honor to be here. I'm all the way from Edmonton. For those of you who don't know, Edmonton is about a 28-hour drive from here, right? 3 hours to Chicago, another 25 hours from Chicago to... Yeah, so I am one of the board members and the guest experience manager of our con in Edmonton called Furry. I've given you all buttons, most of you buttons. If you didn't get one, I'll get you one later. That runs next, here's the commercial part, next June 13th to 16th, basically Father's Day weekend in beautiful Edmonton, Alberta. We'd love to see you there. We're a con of about 700 people, so about less than half the size of IFC. Yeah, but it's a good con. It's a good con. And Haskun was the programming director this past year, so
I'm out of my mind.
So thank you, Haskun. So I don't know if any of you saw. Have you seen the pictures of my luggage? I flew here on Air Canada and I got to Chicago, everything went well. There was a delay and I flew from Edmonton to Toronto. I had a 2-hour delay. There was a mechanical issue with a card that they had to replace where basically the ability for the cockpit, people in the cockpit to talk to the rest of the plane was disabled, so they had to replace the card. It took 2 hours eventually to do it, but no big deal. They plied us with, normally you have to pay for things like Kit Kat and chips and all that, but they actually gave us all that free while we were waiting, which was, I thought, really unusual and actually really nice. So I get to Chicago, and I am waiting for my baggage, and I actually tweet how great I thought Air Canada handled the delay, and I was really appreciative, and get a response almost immediately from Air Canada customer service, because I tagged Air Canada on it, saying, "Oh, that's great, thank you. Like, could you tell us like the flight number? Because we want to pass on your comments to the crew." And I did, and I was just about to do that. So as I'm about to tweet that, I'm waiting for my luggage, and I see this plastic bag come out of the chute, and it's going slowly like this around, like this, and I'm going, "Oh, that looks like my bag. That looks like my bag. It's the kind of a champagne gold color. It looks like my bag." And as it's getting closer to me, because I figured I was in no rush. I was gonna, I was over here. I could have gone like everybody else right at the very front, but I was waiting back here, and it gets closer and closer, and I can see clearly that it is my bag. And at first, I thought maybe just the zipper had popped, because that's what the airlines do. They'll put your bag in a big plastic bag if your zipper went or something, so that way everything's all together. Well, it was way more than that. The suitcase appeared to have been crushed on both sides quite significantly. If any of you follow me on Twitter, I did post a picture of it. It is the worst damage I've ever seen done to any luggage. Surprisingly, nothing that I could see went missing, right? I was really quite surprised. Everything seemed to be in good shape. There's some hot sauces that I brought all the way from Canada, because they're for your hot wing challenge you guys are doing here. And what was funny was I filled out a report, then I had to call Air Canada, and I called Air Canada, and the woman on the phone from India, she says, okay, so now that you filled out the report, she says, so now we need you to take your luggage to the Air Canada repair center at the Chicago airport. And I'm thinking, hey lady, like, this thing ain't getting repaired. Like, this is no way, right? And she goes, oh, I understand, but you know, they'll make a determination whether they'll repair or replace it. And I said, well, even if you replace it, like, I need luggage now. How am I going to get to the airport? I'm not bringing it all in a plastic bag. So in the end, I ended up buying a new suitcase. I'm going to look like an idiot taking this crushed suitcase into the airport on next Wednesday. And I really hope that I'll actually say, can you repair it? We'll see. Anyway, so we have a great show for you tonight. We have some great guests. Actually, like I said, my best lineup of guests ever. Our first guest later will be, what do I got first? I got Atimist, our other guest of honor, artist guest of honor, Atimist, will be out here. Okay, applause for Atimist. He's right there, so you know. We also have ERPS, the charity, as well as Nikki, the con chair. They'll be coming out here today. We have Jeopardy champion, Bucktown Tiger. And we have musical guest Matthew Ebel, who will be performing for us later. Anyway, so thank you very much for coming. Stick around. We'll have our first guest out in just a couple minutes. Okay, thank you. Okay. All right. Well, welcome back. Our first guests are every con does a great job with their charity work. I'm really proud of the furry community in the sense that we do as much as we do with charities. Every charity means something special to the con that is supporting them, and I'm sure this is no different. And you know what? I actually have never heard of ERPS. I think we'd all like to find out a little bit more about them. So I'd like to introduce Nikki, who's the con chair, as well as ERPS. Come on up. Have a seat. Here's a microphone too. Yeah. So, hello.
Hello.
Hi. How are you?
Good.
How are you doing?
Woefully underdressed.
Well, that's all right.
I was having nap time before this.
Well, I wish I was.
Yeah.
I tried, and then there's something went off, was really loud, and
Yeah, I heard about that.
yeah, I didn't do it. I didn't do
It's
it.
good to know.
Yeah. So Nikki, you're the con chair. This is your first year as con chair.
Yes.
So congratulations. How's it going so far?
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
fire alarms aside, right?
Fire alarm
Okay.
aside.
Okay.
Even with the fire alarm, it's going really well.
Excellent. Excellent. Well, thank you for having me as a guest.
Well, thanks for coming.
It's a lot of fun so far. So.
Good.
And we'll see what the next couple days are like. But
Yeah.
but I wanted to find out more about your charity because I had never heard of ERPS, and when I saw in the that sort of not the lobby, but that area in the middle, I saw what looked like a petting zoo. I was confused and also alarmed. So tell me more about what ERPS is all about and how your relationship started with the charity.
Sure. I'll actually say I was pretty alarmed too. I actually work at the hotel a lot and doing contracts. And when I found out that they were going to be bringing out not even 5, but 28 animals today, I had just a little bit of a flutter. That quickly went away once I saw their adorable little faces.
28 animals.
28 animals we had out there today, right? Yeah.
Can you name them all?
Oh boy. No, not all of them.
No? Okay.
They're not all mine.
All right. So actually, that's the question. You said they're not all yours, but do you actually own some of those animals?
I do own some. A lot of them were sanctuary animals. That's the S part in ERPS. It's Exotic Animal Rescue and Pet Sanctuary. And so what we brought were our sanctuary animals. And those are animals with lifelong medical conditions that don't make them adoptable to a novice owner. So our sanctuary pets are ones for more skilled owners that have medical conditions like Marriott up here. Our vicious guinea pig here. Her story is she could not put on enough weight. She couldn't keep weight on it. So she's here because she is a good ambassador, because somebody who understands that what they need to eat and to stay healthy. She's a great pet for them, and so she's sanctuary. And so we brought a lot of our sanctuary kids so you guys could meet our lifelong sanctuary residents.
That's excellent. Like I said, it looks really fun. I mean, working with animals is something that can be so difficult sometimes because you know they rely on you for everything, and it's just almost heartbreaking when you can't help them, right? So what do you do for the animals that are in your care?
So we strive to do everything we can for animals that are brought into our care. We get them from everywhere. We work with animal control, we work with owner surrenders, we work with our local humane societies, and also around the state of Indiana. So we're not just Indianapolis, we work all over the state. We get them in when other humane societies are overwhelmed, or sometimes when we get called into confiscation or hoarding cases. So these guys, little ones, as you probably have seen on the news over the years, we get cases where people have 300 rabbits or 1,000 rats. And so that's when we get called in, because there are tons of great rescues for dogs and cats, and we're there to help everything else. We do everything in between, except wildlife, which we have to have a license and permit for, so we work with licensed wildlife rehabilitators, and then also we don't do barnyard animals. So we don't do pigs and goats and chickens, but there are rescues in Indy that do that. But we do everything in between. So we do the guinea pigs, the rats, the rabbits, the hamsters, the gerbils, the birds, the lizards, the tortoises, all of that good stuff, and they all come in to rescue.
Well, that's quite a. I mean, our charity in Edmonton for Furry is a bully breed rescue, right? And it's one thing to deal with dogs, because dogs are generally dogs, right?
Yeah.
How do you manage to find the resources to deal with so many different types of animals?
So we work as a network of foster homes, and so what we do when we get in these intakes is we work with our foster homes directly. So we work with people who either have extensive experience in the type of animal they're fostering, or people who are very interested in them. And so we work with them to give them the knowledge and the setup that they need to learn how to do this. So since we are entirely volunteer-based, we survive on the time of our volunteers. Everyone who fosters makes a huge difference.
So when you mentioned that these animals are all require special care, typically, right? So that being the case, do you find it difficult to find qualified foster homes and special care? Because it's expensive, right? I mean, obviously that's where a lot of the money that, well, probably all the money that comes in from donations goes for the care of the animals. But isn't it even more cost prohibitive? Because I mean, it's one thing to, again, for a vet to see a dog or a cat. It's probably a little bit more specialized to see a lizard or a snake or a guinea pig.
Well, we are very lucky. We have a very experienced exotic vet clinic here in town, and they work very closely with us. Like, they have seen Marama many times. They have experience in a lot of these exotic species. They're the only board-certified small mammal specialist too. So we've got a vet who, in the whole clinic, all the techs and everybody, they know us very well at what we do, and when we bring them in, they know what to do. They're ready. They help us so much. They've saved so many lives.
Excellent. So getting back to how IFC got involved, how did this relationship really start?
So, as any veterans to kind of know, we worked with Southside Animal Shelter for several years, and just with me coming on board, I noticed that there obviously was a trend happening. We were using the same charity year after year after year, which is great, giving them money, helping the kitties and puppies. We even had a couple specific animals that we raised money specifically for surgeries and such, that kind of became con animals. But once I came aboard, I saw, that there are other organizations in the area that we could be helping. So I was really forward about changing the
Who was your support, right?
Yes, exactly. Yeah, sharing the love.
Yeah,
Sharing love
yeah,
for the
of course.
community. Yeah. So I talked to Jake Bunny at the time, who was our head of charity, and then Chucks came aboard also to help with the charities. And they did a great job working together and finding herbs. And as soon as they were telling me about them, they were like, "Yeah, we're gonna try for this one." I was like, "Yes, do it. Get them. Do the thing."
Well, that's fantastic. So do you have a fundraising goal for this year? Like, do you guys actually set a goal?
We really don't. Like year to year, we just, as much as we can, we try to, I'm a very competitive person, so I just like to try to beat last year.
So I know that you guys have a bet with Alkali.
I was just gonna say, yeah.
Right, so what is that amount again that you guys are trying to aim for?
So they raised $21,000 at First Square this year.
Okay.
So my bet to him was to just beat that. If it was $21,001 and 1 penny we would win. But then apparently at Monkey Knife Fights, that got raised to $31,000, and he would wear a pink tutu and a tiara.
Oh, if he got to that, but you would still do the tiara thing if okay. So I would ask all of you that if you are able to donate, even right now, if you have some additional cash you can donate, this would be a really good time to do it. I would really appreciate it. I'm gonna. Oh, it's over there. I'll have to get it for you. Like my sword. Can we charge it?
We're actually doing something kind
Stay
of fun.
tuned, give me his wallet.
Yeah. So this is the I thought it was
I'm just gonna
red.
pass him around.
It's red.
It's orange.
It's red. It's red.
Okay, well we'll call it red.
Well, aren't you glad we brought it?
So the red bucket is represents Canada, and the blue bucket represents.
The blue bucket represents the Hoosier Defenders.
Okay.
Because Indiana are Hoosiers.
Yes.
We have buttons in the con store that you can purchase by donation. So if you donate $1, donate 5, 10, you get the button and it goes to your team. So we're running a team thing around us. So we're really pushing for Canada to not win. We want to continue the invasion.
Okay. Well,
I'm
I'm saying if anybody can donate even a few dollars, a few pennies, you guys still use pennies in the States. It's bizarre.
We do.
Right? Please do.
And I'm like these.
You should. They're awesome. They're good at throwing people. So if you can donate anything at all, we would really appreciate it. I hope you guys do great as far as donations, and your work is so important. And animals are something that we really do need to take care of because they can't take care of themselves in most cases, right? So, like I said, I hope that everything goes well for you. And like I said, donate a lot, donate often. Do what you can. Let's get Alkali to wear a tiara and maybe a tutu.
And cry.
And cry.
Yeah.
All right. So anyway, this is Nikki, and I didn't get your name.
My name is Meg.
Meg with Herbs.
Yes, it's exotic animal rescue and pet sanctuary.
All right. Thank you very much. We'll be back with our next guest in just a minute. My next guest is our artist GOH, our artist guest of honor. Would everybody welcome Atimist. Yes, you'll notice that we are sponsored by Coca-Cola.
Thank you. It's the best product. Coke.
Yes. What kinds of
many flavors?
Yes.
It comes in Sprite, it comes in cherry.
Yeah, so I don't know if any of you he's from Atlanta. You're from Atlanta.
I am, yes.
And in Atlanta, they do a very strange thing where basically every, I call it pop or soda, is referred to as Coke. So I always imagine you walk into you go to a restaurant and you ask the waitress,
Correct.
what do you have to drink? And you say a Coke. And
like
then they have to say what kind,
Right, exactly.
which makes no sense at all.
That's just what that's just how we do it, right?
Atlanta's owned by Coke.
Yeah, exactly. You guys want to Coke? What kind would you like? Well, I think
Oh, I know.
we're all out of Sprite.
But what if the answer is root beer? Like,
Root beer might be its own thing. It's doing its thing. It's separated, but no. I mean, you could still. It would be. Would you like a Coke? Yes. All right. Let me get a root beer. Yeah, it would work. It would work.
It is so bizarre. And but I know why that is, because Coca-Cola is based.
It's based.
Right.
I mean,
so does anybody in Atlanta serve Pepsi products?
no, they're probably tech fans, but no. Taco Bell.
Right, because of course they'd be national, right?
Exactly. Yeah. No. It's at most high schools, Coke products. Colleges, Coke, sponsored by Coke. No. There's not that I can think of off the top of my head, but
all right. Well, so Addie, I met you back in 2013.
I know.
At NFF, and back then you made a badge that was about the size of my head. Actually, Bo's wearing one right now, but it's huge.
You were supposed to burn that.
Yeah, that was actually one of the best things I ever.
There's a 5-year limit, right?
Yeah.
So afterwards, you're just I'll make you a new
Now,
one.
okay. Now back then, I mean, you were just starting out. As far like I don't know how long you've been drawing at that point.
Not long.
Right? But really cute. I mean, Addie's style is very unique. You can see it in the way, like the con book and some of the other things he's done. But the first thing that really got you exposure on a grand scale was actually the undie icons. Do you guys remember these things? Have you seen these things?
I'm sorry I did that.
Hey, you know what? You're about the same color as the chair right now. The undie icons. So I remember encouraging you.
Yeah, you were the instigator.
I was. I actually, so you can thank me.
I will say though that thanks to you guys and the undie icons and the ones that you purchased, it actually helped fund me getting Atimist. So I have to actually thank you guys for that.
Yes, all those bulges.
All those bulges. All right. So the funniest thing too is that not to derail, but my actually this is before my dad knew what was kind of going on. It's funny. He walked in and he goes, what are you drawing? And I was like, these people are paying me to draw underwear. He just had this, I kid you, the face that he had was just utter disbelief and what the and it was there's no way to explain it. I literally was just like, they're paying me money, I can't turn down free money. So little did I know that actually people were lining up essentially to buy these things. So I thought it was one, maybe two, you know. No. So I'm sitting up in my room and drawing these things. It's like, you've been up here for a while drawing what? And I'm like, this is my 13th bulge of the day.
So, in the end, how many did you draw? Did you count?
I actually
told me
it was
over.
Yeah, it was probably at least 50 plus.
I thought it was more than that. I thought you told me once it was over 100.
You know what, very
yes, there were,
it might have
for
been.
a while
They
on my
were
Twitter
around.
timeline,
Yeah.
everybody had an Atimist bulge. That was the nature of
and some of them still float around on AD, so...
right.
Yeah.
Well, and I remember the special one you did for me.
I hope we don't have a picture of
I don't,
Okay,
I don't, luckily, but anyway. So, okay, so undie icons, you moved on from that, right? You've grown.
I've grown. We've done more than just the lower half.
Yes, you've now drawn other body parts. And you know, I mean, your style is quite unique. I don't know of anybody else that has quite that style. It doesn't emulate somebody else. But you must have artists that you look up to or that you really like the style of. I mean, can you think of anybody off the top of your head?
Off the top of my head, I'd say, I don't know if you guys know Cortez Wall or Triggered, I guess, is the Triggs, I think is his Twitter.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. I actually get a lot of commission work done from him because his art to me is, it's a perfect blend of tooniness that I enjoy, right? So that's what kind of like, you know, I like tuning style art or whatever, so that's kind of where I got mine from. It's, you know, my style derives from a little bit of Mega Man, which is awesome.
Okay, yeah, and the style with the large,
limbs and appendages,
yes,
I guess,
yes.
right? Along with there's Stitch, which I adore, and maybe even Toothless if you want to throw him in there, which I think Toothless got his whole thing from Stitch, right?
Right. Now, of course, that brings up an interesting point.
Okay.
You mentioned appendages. This is an all ages. This is all ages panel. But we were talking. Husker and I were actually talking about this. I think at one point we were talking about, you know, what would things look like if you drew them in your style, certain appendages, because you just can't imagine, right?
I don't want to.
Yeah, it would be quite an unusual look. But okay. So one other thing that happened recently, though, and you can show it off, is you had quite the injury.
Oh yeah.
You're lucky we don't have a picture of this because it practically
Can we not put it up? We don't have anything?
we don't have it.
No,
we don't have the
have
photo.
anything.
We don't. But if you did,
I have it on my phone. I can pass it around.
Well, go to his Twitter timeline because he posted it on Twitter.
Yeah, I apologize for that, but
it looks like he has intestines underneath his flap of skin, and it literally, if you look at the scar, it was like an L-shaped flap.
yes.
And how did that happen?
So I am a sports fan. I both enjoy sports, playing sports, watching sports, and all that stuff. So I play for a team called the Spartans, and we just started. This is our inaugural season, so they're kind of working things out. But I play shortstop, and for anyone who knows baseball, some people like to steal. And so this dude was stealing second base, and of course I was there to receive the throw from the catcher. And the dude went in kind of high, not kind of high, he went in really high, and I got spikes to my arm. And so he's coming in, you know, I mean, I don't know if you can see it, it's really hard to see, but anyway. Took a big chunk, I guess, out of my arm, and immediately, you know, I say immediately, like I got hit, and then, knowing me, I was just like, oh, well, you know, let me go get the ball, because I dropped the ball, I was really pissed about that. I was ready to make the play. And then when I go to go grab the ball, of course, I noticed my hand is like wide open, and there's stuff that's not supposed to be out.
What's surprising, not a lot of blood.
Not yet, because we caught it early, right? Okay, now, so if you look at my baseball pants, it will say otherwise. So I didn't know that the amount of blood that I actually lost almost instantaneously was, you know, of course, my dear old mom, thank you, decided, wanted, you know, she did my laundry that it doesn't come out, blood does not come out, it's there.
So you're scarred for life?
Literally, yes.
Someone has suggested that on the other arm you should put an R scar.
Right, so it looks like an L if you see, so now I know exactly what my arm, you know, which one is left. Everyone does this, no, I can do this now, so it's awesome.
Yeah, it's fantastic. No, I'm glad you're healing up, because I mean, that happened just before...
Well, before I went to the...
Right, you guys went on a trip, and it was before that, and that would have been bad if
yes,
you had gone.
So actually it's funny, because they told me it was like 10 days. They're like, all right, let it heal for 10 days, right? And 14 stitches, they're like, let it heal, okay. So I go to the doctor, and she's pulling them out. And as she's pulling them out, it's still starting to separate. And I had to stop her. I was like, I don't think that's supposed to be happening. And she's like, well, yeah, you're right. It's probably a little too early. And so I had to wait another week for it to come out.
Well, it doesn't hurt anymore, though.
No, it's cool. It actually feels really good to rub. Like if you stroke it a little bit.
Are you still talking about your scar? What?
Yes.
What? Okay.
But be careful. I mean, it was kind of a thing that I did mention prior to the con. Like if I'm in suit, like if I'm in person, cool. I mean, you know, great, it's awesome. If I'm in suit, careful just tackling me, because I don't want it to rub the wrong way and open up again, because that would be awful, to bleed in suit and B, to have to go to the hospital again. So we're trying to avoid that. I think it's pretty much all healed, but it's just a kind of a precautionary thing.
So what's next for you? I mean, obviously, GOH here.
More bulge icons.
Well, you want to pay for a second suit? You can just draw some more bulges, right?
I mean, you're not wrong. But, what's next for me?
Yeah, what's next for you?
I feel like I've peaked. This is it. I mean, at 32 I peaked. That's it. You know, you can't get much higher than GOH, right? At an awesome IFC. Is everyone having a good time, by the way?
Well, I mean, it's like it couldn't happen to a nicer guy. I mean,
thank you.
You know, aside from the fact that you're a good friend of mine, you're a good friend of a lot of people.
A lot of people. I'm friends with you.
Yeah. So I mean, I think that that's a testament to the fact that people like you, not just because of your art, but because you are you.
I'm glad everyone likes my art. I absolutely hate my art, so I'm trying to get better. I'll say that till I'm blue in the face. Like, I despise my art, but I think that's one of the things that I just, you know, like myself, if I hate my art, it'll push me to be better. So actually, one of the things that I'm, you know, working on is to continually improve style, quickness. I'm the slowest artist on the planet, so hopefully after this, after I finish all the artwork for the con and stuff, maybe crossing my fingers that I'll be commissioned.
You haven't finished it yet? You know the con's over in 2 days, right?
Right.
One day I have to have you a cutthroat artist.
Yes.
Once you get fast enough.
Great. Yeah, I've been the judge of cutthroat.
Yes,
I haven't actually
he's made people cry, sadly.
I'm sorry if you're here. I apologize.
Wasn't it your intent?
It was not
but
my
they were
intent.
just obviously kind of sensitive.
Right.
But no, I like I said, I'm very lucky to have you as a friend, and I'm like so thrilled that we get to be both guest of honors at the same time.
This is a rare occasion.
Yes, very much so.
Yeah.
So maybe one day it'll happen again.
Yes, absolutely. Can I do a little self-promotion?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, all right, cool. So tomorrow we're going to have the amazing Oreo panel. So if you guys like Oreos as much as I do, you should come out. I was going, what time is it? Because I'm so bad with schedules.
11:30 says on the schedule.
Yeah, but I'm terrible with schedules.
11:30.
11:30 in room...
Veterans 2, right?
What?
Veterans 2.
Veterans 2. So come out. Everything, all proceeds go to charity. It's a great kind of thing to just sit down, relax, eat my favorite food. It's a healthy, nutritious, delicious treat of Oreos, all different flavors.
You know,
and
calories don't count at a con.
Not at all.
So,
No, absolutely not. We'll
It is
have.
so.
Yeah, it's a good time actually. Really come out. It's the best. Honestly, it's the best deal you can get. You get to try all the flavors from actually around the world because we've got some cool stuff there. And I mean, you get to come hang out and eat Oreos.
Right. And like I said, it's all for charity.
All for charity, which is why we're here.
Something that
and having a good time.
I don't know if anybody else could host this panel. It's
No.
really an Addy thing. So you know, if you guys have Oreos, throw them at Addy.
Literally.
He'll literally chase them along the floor and eat them. So anyway, Addy, thank you very much.
Yes, thanks for having me. This is great.
We will be back. We're gonna don't go anywhere because we're gonna play a game.
Oh,
we're gonna play a game.
All right. Oh boy.
And
Is it
it's you smoked us at Albass smoked us at Cornhole last night.
Oh, I thought we were going somewhere else.
No.
With
Albass smoked us at Cornhole last night.
Right,
So
you're right.
now you're gonna be on opposite team with me, from me, and hopefully we'll smoke with
We'll get a little. Okay. All right.
But we're not playing Cornhole.
Right. Okay. All right.
Okay. All right. We'll be back in just a couple minutes.
Thanks, guys.
You didn't hear that enough, did you?
Yeah, he's got a license.
What is a cameo, Alex?
Oh, okay.
Who is this guy?
Right?
I don't know.
All right. Okay, we're ready.
Hit the button. See, I can tell your responsibility too. Hey, welcome back to Furry Tonight, where we are going to play a little game here. This is going to be fun. Who's familiar with the password? All right, first over here we have Team BC / Nikki. Or is it Team Nikki BC?
Nikki.
Team Nikki?
Is that a new year? Nikki,
Yes. BC is obviously our GOH, and Nikki is the co-chair here at IFC. She also goes by Queen or Your Majesty.
Or
So basically, I have to let you guys win.
And over here we have Artist of Honor, Atimist, as well as 7-time Jeopardy champion, Bucktown Tiger.
We've already agreed that we're letting them win.
You have to let the con-chair win.
Yeah, exactly. Look at this very difficult to make.
So the rules of password are pretty simple. I'm going to give an envelope and a secret word to both teams, and next we've got to bring the guide with me. So we're just going to get it up there somewhere. Hey, how's Kalua? Do me a favor. The answer guide's up there. I think I know what the first one is. I just don't know what the rest of them are. Yeah, it may be up there. Probably is that.
Well, you can't look at it.
I'm not
What are you
looking.
doing? You're cheating already.
No, that's. I don't know what this is.
Oh wait, there it is.
It wasn't 42. All right, let's go. All right.
All right, let's go.
Yes, this is right.
Okay.
Perfect. All right. So if Nick.
Wait, can you explain the rules? Because I have never played.
Okay.
I never played. I was born in the 80s, so I don't know what this game is.
I was too, and I love this game.
Well,
I'm a game show champ. I've never heard of this.
Right,
yeah, game show champ that he's never heard of.
Nikki and Bucktown are going to see the secret word, and they will give you guys will see it.
Don't show it to us.
Yeah, don't show it to BC, don't show it to Daddy.
Great.
Make sure they can't see it.
And
you will give a one-word clue as to what.
one word and one word only.
Yep.
Is it the same?
You can't say the
So you
word.
guys have the same word.
Okay,
Yeah,
alright.
you can't say the word, but you have to give me a clue so I can try to guess the word.
Right.
And
Then it
can't
goes
act
back.
out.
It goes back and forth.
Right.
Whoever gets it first gets the point.
Okay.
The
But you
point
can't. You don't yell it out. mean, it's our chance first, and then it's your turn. But like, you'll go first.
I think yeah, all right.
All right,
Maybe.
you'll catch up.
I hope so.
All right, okay. All right. Go ahead.
I'm glad I have the envelope. I'm not trying to guess. That's all I'm doing.
Sponsors.
Attendees.
Headless.
There you go. Five points. All right.
We don't have a sponsors manager for this, so that's why. Sorry. Oh, are you sure? He's got the scoreboard there.
I got
5 points
there.
for
It's a delicious
Team
right.
Bucktown Addy.
Okay. So now this time it'll be Bucktown.
Actually, it could be just Team North and Team South.
Hey! I like that. SEC!
All right. So
It's the best conference.
He's winning the football championships.
College football.
okay, Addy, go ahead.
Isn't that like your
Addy goes first.
gridiron?
The winner is.
Oh, and Nick.
Okay, Steve Harvey.
For the best suit at the time. Can it be a hybrid of words? Like a hyphenated word?
No.
Or word? MC.
Yeah.
Wow. Boom, baby! 6 points.
MC's 2 words. It stands for Master of Ceremonies.
Now, in that case, I don't think it does.
Fine.
Yeah.
But we're back to you guys,
Okay,
all right?
back, yeah.
I'm not.
Can't touch this.
And right.
Thank you.
Come on.
Yes.
Look him in the eye.
Mike.
We got a clock or something, right?
5 seconds.
There's no time limit.
Sure there is. We have sponsors.
I only get
Sound?
Friendship.
magic.
Oh my God.
That's what's up, baby!
I was honestly thinking Magic Mike the whole time.
I would have started with Copperfield.
I think that's fine, right?
The plane. Houdini. It is, but what does he do?
Yeah, magic. I kind of like Houdini. Oh, swallow.
All right, so I think Team South is ahead right now. If they,
You think?
I'm guessing.
That's backwards.
Stab in the dark.
Ready? Teller.
Bank.
Said eight.
Red bank. Bank. No.
Okay, he said talent.
Yes.
Fortune.
What?
What?
Wait a minute! Oh my God! This guy's cheating!
He's losing all the points.
You can't say the word! Even I know that!
great, thank you.
Oh, I'm Crystal Knight.
Yeah,
I was gonna say I was gonna
just don't say the word that you see.
I'll try. Okay. Yes, ready? Okay. Yard.
What was it? Sorry, what did you say? You said yard?
Yes.
Okay.
This is an all ages panel, so I can't use it. I was gonna say it to it.
I know what you were gonna say.
She knows the
I know
word.
what you were gonna say. Because I thought about saying it.
Oh, it's an all. Oh, okay. Turf.
Line.
Okay. Green.
Grass.
Yeah!
I should have gone with the word I was gonna say. Marijuana.
Last one.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. I was too.
That was last
Oh,
one.
yeah, that's
All right.
yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Don't read the word. Anything but the word.
I'm gonna keep it out this time.
Yeah, MC is a word. EMCE is actual word. It is?
That's true. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But he's first. So
Yes. Okay. You're stoic with
Now I know, but I don't know how to. Horse.
what?
Horse.
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 Of course.
That's pretty good, right? Alt.
It's probably not going to.
Shoe.
Oh.
Blitzen.
Reindeer?
Trot.
Gallop.
Dressage.
I can't listen to those kind of words. I don't know what that is. That's so fancy.
I know. Writing.
Saunter.
Prince.
That's it. All right.
All right, you guys win. Welcome back. Our next guest, you actually already met him. He was just out here whipping my ass in Password. But again, 7-time Jeopardy champion, Bucktown Tiger. Come on up.
And it's really funny, like, if we were actual anthropomorphic animals, how would we sit in regular chairs? Because we have to account for the tail. We have to grab our tail.
Well, you just swish it off to one side.
Which,
Yeah, exactly. So welcome. Like I said, first of all, congratulations. I mean, everybody, of course, I'm sure has given you tons of congratulations on your success on Jeopardy, and you're like a testament to the fact that it can be done. Real, normal, actual, real-life people can do it.
Yeah, it's real life, and there are people who have this rumor, this conspiracy that all the game show contestants are just wannabe actors in Hollywood trying to make a buck. And it's real people. It's, when they say a network engineer from North Little Rock, Arkansas, he's actually, well, I wouldn't say an engineer per se, I'm kind of messed stuff up. But yeah, it's real people. And if anyone wants to be on Jeopardy, then they have the online test they offer every so often, and that's where it all starts.
So, or you just, I mean, obviously, in order to be a successful contestant, you have to have a wide range of general knowledge, right? Not even general, specific knowledge, right? But what, I mean, did the knowledge come first, or did your interest in being on a show like Jeopardy come first?
Well, I've always wanted to be on Jeopardy because I'm a grown-up nerd. Jeopardy was one of the places where it was cool to be smart, and I was always drawn to that. And as far as love for knowledge and curiosity about the world, yeah, that's something that is kind of stuck with me. I can't shake it. I'm glad I didn't. But so it kind of came hand in hand, if you will. It wasn't like I'm going to be on Jeopardy. I'm going to go read encyclopedias for the next 2 weeks. No, it wasn't like that. I've been reading encyclopedias since however long.
So when they put you through the process, I know you have to go through like the auditions, the tests, and all that. They're screening for your knowledge, but also I think they probably also screen to some degree for your personality, because I mean ultimately it's a show, right? Like it's a television show, it's entertainment, so they want to make sure that they're not having some freak up there either. So
why they
well, exactly. So I was always kind of curious about how much did the furry part of it come through during your appearances? Because I know you did the tag stuff. So I mean, like, and I know Alex Trebek asked you about that. So,
it is. I wasn't expecting that question. So what happens is you put down a list of things that are interesting about you. That's part of your application. You have to put 5 things. Traditionally 5 episodes. You win 5 times. And you put 5 anecdotes about yourself, and one of the ones I used was about how I play keyboard in a tiger costume and go to conventions for charities and help raise money for charities. And I think they asked about that on day 2, and of course they had the tiger paws at the end. And then on day 4, so they have a list of the things you put down on your application. And there are 3 things on the card that Alex has when he walks to you on the podium. Of course, Alex can go anywhere he's supposed to. And so on day 4, Alex said, so this thing you do with your hands, what is that about? That was not on the card. I did not have an answer prepared for that. Panic, 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 panic. Oh, what do I say? What do I say? Do I say furry on national TV? What do I do? Oh, I just really like tigers, I guess.
you just really like tigers, you guess. Is your answer?
Yeah, and luckily Alex didn't really press it, which is kind of crazy. But no, the furry fandom has really given me a sense of confidence that I didn't have before I joined the fandom. I don't think that the Jeopardy experience would have happened without the friendship and the camaraderie that I've experienced here in this community.
Excellent. Well, so 7 days, right? Or seven time champion means 7 days, right? So
they play 8 days. So I think about Jeopardy now since 2002. Before 2002, if you won 5, they gave you a car and they sent you on your way. After 2002, they changed the rule where you keep winning until someone knocks you off. Ken Jennings won 74 episodes.
Right.
And so basically, at this point, you keep playing until you lose. Okay. So everyone leaves a loser, so you know.
Right.
But,
so I mean, you're gonna lose. But you won 7 times in a row, obviously. This I'm not as familiar with. Do you get to go to this like tournament of champions or anything like that? Okay, so that's still to come, or
it's still to come. I'm still waiting to find out more information on it if I'm actually in. Nothing's guaranteed. I could get myself disqualified. I could go and hack into my co-workers' emails like this one lady did, who I won't name. I could do some other crime that I won't even mention because it's an all ages event here.
Right.
Or I could go on another game show. You can't go on any other game shows.
So you can't appear on like Pyramid.
Correct.
You were just on Password.
Oh wait.
Oh no.
Oh,
I just
crap.
got myself disqualified.
Oh. Don't. No one. Hopefully.
No one posts on
hey,
YouTube.
bad camera. So now I understand. Like like I said, your Jeopardy success is amazing, and we're. I mean, I guess if we can be proud of some things in furry. And honestly, sometimes these days, it's not always easy to be proud, but this is something that I think we could all get behind and say, congratulations, and you know, thank you for being a good representation of what the best of furry can be. So like I said, thank you very much, right?
Thank you. It's really an honor to see all of the support from all of you through the episodes, seeing people tweet and retweet, talk about watching the episodes and telling their co-workers and their family, and they were all supporting me. That really did warm my heart, and so thank you so much. It means a lot to me.
So probably one of the hardest things was not being able to talk about it, because it's taped. You know, I don't know how long in advance, but
it was 4 months.
4 months. So you really can't say what happened. You can't do anything about it, and basically you just have to pretend it didn't happen yet, right? So
pretty much.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody's like, "How did you do? How did you do?" And I say,
I can't talk. Can't talk.
You make up, especially the hardest part was, so what happens, they take 5 episodes in there, on Tuesdays and Wednesdays. They brought me in on a Wednesday taping, and there are, I think, 12 people, and they pick everyone at random as to what episode you go on, and the winner of the last Wednesday taped episode has to go home and fly back on the following tape week. So I was winner after tape day on Wednesday, so I had to fly home. So I had to figure out how to get back to LA without telling anyone that I was going back to LA to tape. Because you couldn't tell them, oh, you must have won. No. So what I did, people at work, I told them that I was going to Mardi Gras, because it was right during Mardi Gras taping. And people in my family and friends, I told them I had to go to Dallas for work, which technically wasn't a lie because my flight did go through Dallas. So I had to, different people, different things. Because obviously you can't give away the fact that, hey, you have to go back to the trip.
Right, because if they knew you were going back, then they knew that you must have won at some point, because otherwise why would you going back, right?
Exactly. And people tried to get that. They tried to sneak their way into, so when do you go back?
Okay, so I do have one question about the way Jeopardy works. I don't know if you're allowed to talk about it, but it's just a simple question. So I always wonder, when because you say you're picked at random, right? But do they know, in a sense, the kinds of categories that you might have some success in? Because I've never seen an episode of Jeopardy where no one knows anything. So is there any sense of like, okay, well, if it's going to be Bucktown, there are some categories that, they're not fixing it, but what they're saying is that we'll make sure that there's categories that Bucktown knows, that John knows, that Nancy knows. Like, is that done at all, or is it literally random?
It's literally random. So there are 6 episodes pre-prepared. Alex goes back with the judges, and they pick 5 episodes of the 6 at random. They don't know what's in the package. They just pick 6 or 5 envelopes out of 6. And then after that, the contestants are selected at random, and so you don't know which contestants playing which set of questions. It could be any particular order. So yeah, they have to randomize it because years and years ago they did fix games.
Right. I can't remember the name of the game.
21.
Right, and there was a huge deal
that
actually got like federal government involved and all that, right? Like so now the other thing I wanted to ask you before we go is I also understand you are a big not console, but like arcade video game player.
When I was growing up, I played Dig Dug.
That's exactly what I was going to ask you about that. So what is with Dig Dug? I saw something recently Daet Club posted, right? I think it's Daet Club that posted it.
Yeah, Scuba Pup.
Scuba Pup, yes, Scuba Pup. So what's the deal with Dig Dug?
Well, it's just one of those games I kind of got addicted to and playing and trying to, be good at it, and I've worked, and Scuba's helped me with patterns, and I've watched some videos of people getting high scores and tried to incorporate that into my gameplay, and it's worked out okay.
So what just happened? He posted that.
Yeah, so we have a retrocade in my hometown of well, it's in Sherwood, I'm in North Little Rock, Arkansas, SEC. And basically, it's a free play. You go in, you pay the entry fee, and they have hundreds of arcade games, like old school Donkey Kong, Pac-Man,
Right,
pinball machines.
it's pretty cool.
It's
like a
really
museum
cool.
almost, right?
Yeah. And so they have dip gun machines. So I went in there, and of course they have the high scores before the arcade. And the other day I took down the high score for that arcade. It's not the world record by any means. Like,
but it's got to be pretty darn good.
It's okay. Yeah. 1.68 million. So I'm sure most of you all can beat that score like slap.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, like I said, I'm really happy to have had a chance to talk to you here today. I think everybody probably had a billion questions about how all this went down and all that, and if we could shed a little bit of light on it. I hope everybody, now knows a little bit more about your experiences. It's fascinating. So again, thank you very much. Thank you for the things that you do. And we didn't even touch on some of the other stuff you do, like actually play keyboard in the Tiger suit. But we'll talk about next time. How's that?
Next time, yeah, absolutely.
All right. Anyway, Bucktown Tiger, everybody.
I don't know how this works.
Where does spoon go? Oh, we're not as good. No, close enough, though, right? Or is that an insult? All right. Well, welcome back, everybody. And my next guest, my last guest tonight, he does a little bit of everything. Musician, DJ, comedian. I mean, he's pretty funny. And I just met him recently, but he seems like a pretty cool guy. I'd like to introduce Matthew Ebel.
Thank you.
How are you?
I'm fantastic. I am weirdly sober right now.
Well, why is that weird? Is that not something that's
Because
normal?
it's like 1 o'clock in the morning at a furry con. Like, sorry, it's almost 2 o'clock in the morning at a furry con. So yeah, it's an alkalize here. So the fact that I'm sober at all is
You get to drink right after this. You can drink as much as you want. So, great. So welcome. I only just met you yesterday. And it was like, okay, well, Matthew's going to be performing as part of Furry Tonight. I never talked to you before that. I just know that the spoon made some arrangement and said, oh yeah, Matthew's going to be performing and he's going to be part of the show.
This is the level of planning that goes into
Right,
these events,
exactly. And
folks.
it's like, okay, well, I think I bumped into you by accident by the elevator.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, you're Matthew. And it was like, okay, you're performing tomorrow. I am. Yes. So that was sort of the first time we met each other. But we then played match game together, which was horrible.
We were. I don't want to blame the audience ever. I would never blame you guys, especially if you jumped up on stage to join us for a game show. But we could have done it.
We could have.
Yes.
The thing is that I think we were trying.
What we were mostly trying was to come as close to making actual dick jokes as we could without using the word dick.
That's
It's like it was pre 10 p.m. So yeah.
I mean, I think Chance came up 3 times. So yeah. But no. So I know you're performing a song for us.
Yes.
It's called "Prayer for Dan."
Yes.
Right. You were telling me backstage a little bit about what the song is about and all that. So do you want to? And it was fascinating in a kind of odd sort of way, like in the sense that like, it was kind of like a lot deeper than I thought it was going to be. Like, oh, prayer for Dan, like, So tell me about it.
Are you familiar with associated student bodies?
Yeah. Should I just say yes?
Yes.
Some of you all. Okay. All right. But I'm legitimately.
No,
I never read it. So, it was a furry magazine. It's sort of a mini series, basically. It was like 6, 7 issues. It was porn. It was dicks galore.
Okay.
But through the episodes, it told a story of a kid who comes from a Christian background, very conservative Christian parents and all that, goes off to college, realizes that he's gay, and which is, like that's very typical in a lot of the literature of the time in the furry fandom, and it's a lot about coming to terms with that. Of course, there's also a lot of eye candy throughout the magazine as well, because it was smut porn. But one of the most moving scenes in it for me was when Danny, and how many of you guys have actually read this, by the way? Just for the articles, right? I'm assuming.
Yeah.
Okay.
The story's great.
Yeah, right. There's a moment where he's torn between, his super religious parents. He knows, that's not for him. You can't make me straight again. I know this is who I am. But all of his gay friends are very hard on the religion, and it's this is also who I am. And he goes to an Episcopalian priest in this gay furry smut magazine. He goes to an Episcopalian priest who talks him through it, and one of the things, God, I'm tearing up thinking about it. One of the things that got to me was the priest was portrayed in gay furry smut as a good guy, and in any gay literature at the time, I did not expect that. And he made the point that no matter, the whole point of the gospel is that everybody is a sinner. That's why everybody needs Jesus. This is what I've been preaching for a living. The point is, nothing can tear you away from the love of God. Now, I'm a Lutheran boy. I went to a Presbyterian school. I got my start doing Christian music. Do any of you have any of those albums, by the way? Thank the Lord. Okay. Oh yeah, no, I released 2 Christian music albums. I worked for a Christian record label briefly. I realized that I would never have a career in that area because I like dick. In 2000, it's 2 o'clock in the morning, I can say. In the early 2000s, the late 90s, early 2000s, now you would never have a career in Christian music with that. There were other reasons I left that genre as well, but what I'm getting to is that really spoke to me, that they would not just push religion, push Christianity off as these are bad guys that are trying to hurt you. It spoke to me in a way that none of the gay literature had, and certainly none of the Christian literature at the time had. And it really helped get me through a very difficult process of coming to terms with my own sexuality. And if it hadn't been for the furry fandom, I don't know where I would have turned for that kind of, maybe I would have found something that would have helped me that much elsewhere, but the fact that that came from the furry fandom is the reason why I'm still here, honestly. It really helped change my life for the better.
Now, before you play, I wanted to ask you, what is avian invasion? I saw that in the convo. Explain.
So avian invasion, over how many of you have been to one of my shows before? 4 of you. All right, so. Yeah, exactly. That's a good ratio for this crowd. In the past, I've been doing piano rock. Everybody needs a robot, that kind of stuff. But over the last couple of years, especially after moving to Seattle, moving away from my drummer, I had to figure out a way to do something that was new and exciting, and I could do well on a big stage without having my drummer, without having a band with me, basically having to start from scratch. And just male singer-songwriter number 8,472 doesn't really catch a lot of attention. The reason I'm a musician today is because of technology. I was on the fence going into computer programming or music, in junior high, and thank God I didn't go into computer programming because that was right before the first .com bust. But the whole concept of MIDI, one of my choir teachers sent me home with a little box that let me play drums on my piano, and I'm like, this is amazing. This is what I'm going to do with the rest of my life. So the best way, this is a very long answer to a very short question, I'm sorry. But so the last couple of years now, I've tried to find a way to keep that love of technology, do something completely new, but also do something that is very highly visual, where I can be in costume and stuff like that, because obviously in this fandom, it's kind of our jam. So I started doing dance music over the last couple of years, which is so like Christian music, rock and roll. Now I'm doing trance. Right. So Avian Invasion is the name I came up with because I didn't want somebody to get, if they're interested in my dance music, to go onto Spotify and look up Matthew Ebel, like, let's add this to my playlist, and have fucking everybody needs a robot, like, when they're expecting, you know. So, in a very long story short, to make a very long story short, I did it because of the robots.
Makes perfect sense. Makes perfect sense. Now, will you play for us?
Maybe.
All right.
Oh, if they want it. So, do need to figure out if this is tall enough for me. You gonna stay tall enough for me? All right. So, can you give me a little bit more of this in the monitor, if at all possible? Check one. Oh yeah, there we go. I don't know if you actually did anything or not, but it actually sounds better. So.
Bucktown. You
Do you want to get these drunks up on stage here?
If you want, you can stay. Come up if you want. Come on up. Come on up. I want to thank all my guests tonight. This was a great time. I really enjoyed talking with all of you, and I hope we'll be able to do it again at some point in the future. Thank you very much for coming to Furry Tonight.
Okay,
and
there's one more.
Whoa, come on. Oh, there. Thank you very much. Good night, everybody. Have a good night.
Silver Gato Man, he bought me a coffee. Silver Gato Man, here is the song for thee. He likes to video all the panels at the cons. You should go and watch them whether they are short or long. Silver Gato Man, you video that's not a jibe. All of you go to his YouTube channel and like and subscribe.